Very good afternoon to all of you. Please tell me that if my voice is audible or not. Yes. Students,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's move further. So, 23 participants have joined. Join fast. Others, I request all of you to join fast so that we will start our lecture within 1 minute. I will wait for 1 or 2 minutes and thereafter we will start. Okay. Hmm. 29, the number increased. Okay. 30. Okay. So 30 participants have joined. I think there are 74 students in your class. Class strength is 74. Only 30 have joined. So this is too much absenteeism. In the last lecture also, there were only 40 students present. So up till now, we have completed up to pronouns, I think. Let me share the screen. Is the screen visible? दिसते का? Screen दिसते? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So as the screen is visible, we'll move further. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the pronouns. Okay, pronouns and its types. So in this, from last 3 weeks, we are conducting from last month. We are conducting this session of CIP. Okay, so among all the topics, parts of speech is very much important topic, and because its importance, it should be known that while speaking, while using the communication skills, it is the very necessary topic that you should know what are the parts of speech, how many of the parts of speech are there. Okay, so up till now we have completed up to the pronouns. So nouns and pronouns we have completed. Nouns means the proper nouns, material nouns, common nouns, and pronouns are having three pronouns are the words which are used instead of the noun or in the place of noun. Okay, So he, she, it, they. These are the he, she, it, they, I, we, you, they, I, we, you. These are the pronouns. We have also seen the list of personal pronouns, that is uh, I, we, you, he, she, it, they. Okay. There are three types of persons: first person, second person, and third person. So in the first person, there comes I and we. I is the first person singular, and we is the first person plural. Second person singular is you, and second person plural is also you. Third person singular, there comes he, she, it. These are the three pronouns which are used for the third person singular. And third person plural, there comes the they. Okay, they is used as a third person plural pronoun. So we have seen that there are different types of pronouns, that is personal pronoun, relative pronoun. Relative pronoun means what? The which indicates the relation between persons and things. Okay, so relative pronouns are the pronouns which indicate the relationship between person and things. If I want to say something, that is I know the boy who met me at the corner. So who is the word which indicates the relation of that person with that boy. Okay, the speaker with that boy. Okay, so these are called as the relative pronouns. And examples of relative pronouns are who, whom, which, what, whose. Okay, then the third type of pronoun is interrogative pronoun. From its name itself, we can see that interrogative pronouns are the words starting with the WH words. Okay, so what, which, whom, whose, these are the interrogative pronouns. Then fourth type is demonstrative pronoun. So demonstrative means what? Which gives the demonstration, okay, or which indicates or which gives the directions. Okay, so these are the pronouns which are used for demonstrating things or for indicating or for directing. Okay, so that's why they are called as demonstrative pronouns. Examples of demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these, those. Okay, then the fifth type we have seen is the reflexive pronouns. Reflexive means what? Words which are ending with self, okay, or selves. Means the pronouns which are ending with self or selves are called as the reflexive pronouns. For example, I believe in myself. Okay, I believe in myself. Here, subject and object of the sentence are same. In the reflexive pronouns, subject and the object of the sentence are same. For example, I believe in myself. Myself, or we introduce ourselves as myself, Prasad Babar from Pandharpur, or myself, Saket Bhosle from Pune. Okay, so these are the uses of the reflexive pronouns. So in this way, we have uh, seen that the pronouns are the words used in a place of noun. Okay, for example, I, we, you, he, she, it, they, this, that, these, those. These comes under the category of pronoun. So personal pronouns are I, we, you, he, she, it, they. Relative pronouns who, whom, which, what, whose. Interrogative pronouns are the pronouns which interrogates. For example, WH words starting with WH words, all WH words are plus auxiliary verb. Then demonstrative pronouns means what? This, that, this, those. This is a pen, that is a boy. This is a college, that is the hostel. Okay, so these are the demonstrative pronouns. And reflexive means what? Talking about myself or ourselves, yourself, himself, herself, itself, themselves. These comes under the category of this comes under the category of the reflexive pronouns. Fill in the blanks with an appropriate pronoun. So here are some of the exercises for you people. The first picture is about the girl. So she is the pronoun we will use here. She is a girl. Here in the second picture, here is a boy having hockey stick in his hand. So we'll use here pronoun, personal pronoun. Okay, which personal pronoun? He. He is a boy. Then here, there is a picture of a family having three members: wife, husband, and her son. Okay, their son. So here, which pronoun will be suitable? If they're talking about themselves, then we will use here, we are a family. Okay, we are a family. Then here are the two children. One is a boy and other is a girl, and they are playing seesaw. Okay, so we'll use here pronoun they. Okay, they are playing. Then there is a teacher, picture of teacher, and pronoun that we will use for him is he. Okay, he is a teacher. Then there is a dustbin in this last picture. So which will be the pronoun? Dustbin, either he or she or it or they or any other. We will use here it. It is a dustbin. Ha dustbin ahe. Okay. Let's see the second exercise. Use appropriate personal pronoun for the word in bracket. So which will be the personal pronoun we'll use here? In the bracket, if there is a Ram and he is dreaming, so we'll use here he is dreaming. Okay, he is dreaming. The second exercise example in this exercise is dash is green, and in the bracket there is the blackboard. So which will be the pronoun? Suitable in this example, dash is green and in bracket there is the blackboard. So it is green. Okay, we will use here it. It is green. As it is a non-living thing. Blackboard is a non-living thing. Okay, so we can consider it as a neuter gender. Okay, so it is green. Then the third example is dash are on the wall. Dash dash are on the wall, and there is the posters. So what will be the pronoun? For the posters, we will use they are on the wall. Okay, they are on the wall. There are many numbers. Okay, the posters are many in numbers, and that's why we'd use here they are on the wall. Fourth example is dash is running. Dash dash is running, and in bracket there is the dog. So we'll use here it is running. Okay, it is running. The fifth example, dash are watching TV. My mother and I. My mother and I watching TV are watching TV. So what will be the pronoun? Here we'll use we. Okay, we are watching TV. We. So this is the exercise that we have completed. Let's see the third part of speech, that is verb. Okay, so what is verb? Can anybody tell me what is verb? Why to use verbs and how they can be used? Can anybody tell me what is verb? It's simple grammar that we are learning. Verb is the word which shows action. Okay, verb is the word which shows action. It is also called as action denoting word. Okay, action denoting word. Verb is also called as action denoting word, which denotes action, which indicates action, which shows action. Okay, for example, what are the examples? To play, okay, to see, to watch, to know, to understand, to eat, to drink. Okay, these are the some of the examples of verbs. So let's use them in the examples. The first example, let's see the first example. I play cricket, but I also like football. I play cricket, but I also like football. So here in this example, play and like, these are the two verbs which has been used. Play and like, okay, which denotes the action of playing cricket and action of liking football. Okay, so these are called as verbs. Second example is he knows that I feel bad about it. He knows that I feel bad about it. So here in this example, know and feel. Know and feel. These are the two verbs we have used in this example, with this sentence. Then the third is I can dance better than him. I can dance better than him. So can dance. In this example, can dance is the verb which has been used. Can dance. Can here is called as the auxiliary verb. Okay. Can here is called as the auxiliary verb, or we can say that it is modal verb. Okay. Modal verb. Can. And dance is the main verb in this sentence. So I can dance better than him. This is called as the verb. I can dance better than him. Then see the next example, that is 4. The sky is blue. The sky is blue. So in this example, the sky is called as the verb. Okay. So verbs are having two types. Okay. There are two types of verbs. First is helping verb and the main verb. Okay. Helping verb and the main verb. These are the two types of verbs. So let's see what are the two different types of verbs. Okay. See, the first type of verb is the auxiliary verb or helping verb. Okay. Auxiliary verb or helping verb. So what are the auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs are the verbs, or which are the verbs when we use them as the for helping purpose or supporting purpose. Okay. They are used before main verbs. Okay. They are used before main verbs, the auxiliary verb or helping verb. So there are different types of auxiliary verbs. The first is primary auxiliary. Second is modal auxiliary. And these are the two types that we are going to discuss. Okay. So primary auxiliary. Primary auxiliary means what? These are the auxiliaries of to be, to do, or to have form. Okay. To do, to be, to do, or to have form of verbs. So these comes under the primary auxiliary. And the modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are the verbs which can be identified with the can, could, should, would, may, might, must. Okay. So these are called as modal auxiliaries. So let's first discuss about the primary auxiliaries. Auxiliary verbs or helping verbs are divided into two types, that is primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. So to be, to do, to have, these are the three types of primary auxiliaries. So in the to be form of primary auxiliaries, there comes am, is, are, was, were, be, shall, or will. Am, is, are, was, were, be, shall, or will. These are called as primary auxiliaries. Then primary auxiliaries of to do form, that is do, that is do, does, and did. These are called as to do forms of primary auxiliaries. And for to have form, have or has or had, and shall have or will have. These are called as the to have forms of primary auxiliaries. Have or has or had, have, has, had, shall be, or shall have or will have. Okay, so these comes under the primary auxiliaries. Primary auxiliaries of to be are, am is are, was were, shall will. Okay, primary auxiliaries of to do, does, did. Primary auxiliaries of to have or has, had, shall have or will have. Okay, so these are the primary auxiliaries. Let's see its example. One of the example is I am writing a paper. I am writing a paper. So here am is the to be form of primary auxiliary which we have used in this sentence. Okay, I am writing a paper. Then talking about the modal auxiliaries, these are the limited in number. Okay, so modal auxiliaries are the examples that can, could, should, would, may, might, must, ought to, need to, dare to, okay, etc., etc. So these are called as the modal auxiliaries. For example, I must study English. I must study English. Here, must is called as the modal auxiliary that we have used in this example. Talking about the main verbs, okay. The second type is the main verb. So what are the main verbs? Main verbs are the verbs which indicate or denote action. Okay, so main verbs are many in numbers. We can say that there are many verbs, but auxiliary verbs or helping verbs or supporting verbs are limited in number. Main verbs are unlimited in numbers, but auxiliary verbs come in the category of limited in number. Okay, main verbs are also having regular, irregular, transitive, and intransitive type of verbs. Okay, so what are the regular types of verbs? The regular types of main verbs are the verbs in which past tense is formed with ed, in which past tense is formed with ed suffix. Example, play, played, played. Okay, play, played, played. These are the two examples of these are the examples of main verbs: play, played, played. Irregular, regular verbs. So there is the regularity, that is ed suffix is added for making its past and past participle. Okay, so example, play, played, played. This is the example of regular type of main verb. Then second is the irregular verbs. So what comes under the irregular and why it is called as irregular type of verb? The irregular types of verbs are verbs in which past tense is formed without ed suffix. Okay, so irregular verbs are the verbs in which past tense is formed without ed. For example, see, saw, sin. Okay, write, wrote, return, eat, ate, eaten. Then catch, caught, caught. Okay. Then speak, spoke, spoken. So there is no regularity between two forms. Speak is the another one of the form. Its uh, past is spoke. Its past tense is spoke, and its past participle will be spoken. Speak, spoke, spoken. Okay. So this is the irregular types of words. Then the third type of main verb is transitive verb. Okay, transitive and intransitive. So what is the difference between transitive and intransitive? What is transitive verb and what is intransitive verb? That we are going to see. So transitive, in the transitive, verb which takes object. So transitives are the verbs. Transitive verb is the verb which takes object, means there comes object after that verb. Okay, for example, I study English. This is the example of transitive verb. Okay, this is the example of transitive verb. Why it is example of transitive verb? Because verb is followed with the object. There comes object after the verb. In this example, I study English. I is the subject, study is the verb, and English is the object. And that's why English is following the verb. And that's why it is called as a transitive verb. And intransitive verb are the verbs which does not take any object. Means after the intransitive verbs, there comes no object in a sentence. Okay. That's why they are called as intransitive verbs. Keep this in mind. If you want to write it, you can write it down in your notebook. Please keep the habit of writing things in your notebook so that that notebook will be instructor, your manual. That notebook will work as your manual instructor. Okay, so keep writing notes or keep writing things that you feel important for you people. Okay, please write this down in your notebook that there are four types of main verbs: regular, irregular, transitive, and intransitive. I hope you have written this down in your notebook. Okay, so we will discuss the next part of this chapter. Okay, so in the transitive verb, transitive means what? Let's once again discuss this. Yes, transitive. Transitive means what? Verb which takes object. So verb which comes after object. Okay, uh, or verb uh, which is followed by the object. After verb there comes object in a sentence. Means object means what? Karma. So in Marathi we may call it as sakarmak kriyapad. Transitive means what? Sakarmak, which takes object. And in the intransitive verb, the verb which does not take object is called as intransitive verb. For example, the train arrived at the station. Here, the train is the subject, arrived is the object, arrived is the verb, at the station is the complementary part, or yes, it is the complementary part in the sentence. Okay, the train arrived at the station. Here, at the station is the complementary part. So there is no object in this sentence. Okay, so at the station here is not the object, it is the complement. And that's why it is called as intransitive, that is akarmak kriyapad. Verb which does not take object is called as intransitive verb. So keep this in mind. Okay, the transitive verbs, in the transitive verbs there are two subtypes. Okay, in the transitive verbs there are the two subtypes. And which are they? They are monotransitive and ditransitive. Okay, monotransitive and ditransitive. So what is the monotransitive? Monotransitive is the verb which takes only one object. Means it is the verb which takes only one object. There comes only one object in the sentence. That's why they are called as monotransitive. And the ditransitive verb is the verb which takes two objects. Okay, so in the example, in the sentence there may come two objects in a sentence. Okay, the two objects can come in a sentence, and for that verb we are using ditransitive verb. Okay, so ditransitive verb is the verb which takes two objects. For example, let's see it with example. I gave him a pen. I gave him a pen. So here in this example, I is subject, give is the verb. I gave is the verb, him a pen. So here there are two objects in a sentence, him and a pen. So these two are called as ditransitive verbs. I gave him a pen. So here we have used ditransitive verbs. Ditransitive means what? There comes two objects in a sentence. I is the subject, gave is the verb, him is the indirect object, and a pen is the direct object. So keep this difference in mind, that there are two objects in a sentence. There may come two objects in a sentence, like I gave him a pen. So here him is the answer when we are using whom as a WH question. So ask the question with WH word whom, then that question will be answered as a him. So this is called as indirect object, and what give is called as direct object. What give? काय दिलं तर a pen. Okay, so a pen comes under the category of transitive verb. Okay, so I gave him a pen. This is the ditransitive verb. So next chart is of the verbs, forms of main verbs. So there are 4 forms of main verbs. Okay, the main verb is the verb which has 4 forms. To infinitive means we use to in front of them and that becomes infinitive. To infinitive. Then the first form is the present tense V1. Past tense is the second form. Past participle is the third form and present participle VING, or we add ing suffix to the word. So this chart is very important for you people. Please write this chart in your notebook till the time I will mark your attendance. Okay. So I suppose that you have written this chart down in your notebook. Okay. So I have marked your attendance till the time. The absent roll numbers, I'm going to call their roll number. Please, if anybody is present out of them, he or she can give his attendance. Okay. So roll number 3 is absent. 6, 12, 15, 17, 19, 20, 21, 26, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43, 47, 48, 50, 52, 54, 57, 60, 61, 62, 66, 65, 66, 67. These are the absent roll numbers. If anybody of you are present, he or she can tell it's his or her roll number. Okay. I have marked it from participants list. Okay. So I think there are 42 students for today's lecture. Okay. Then I suppose that you have written this chart in your notebook. So let's uh, stop here itself because there are only 3 or 4 minutes left to this meeting. Okay. So we'll stop here itself. Thank you for joining this meeting. We'll conduct the next lecture and we'll continue the next part of this chapter in the next lecture. Thank you for joining. So shall I end this meeting from my side? I will end this meeting from my side. Thank you. Okay. Yes.